What's up? Right now, I'm at the Berkeley Chess School. About to do my second tournament. Last time I played at the Mechanics Institute in San Francisco. The ending was I got 2 wins and 1 loss. 2 wins as white and 1 loss as black. This time, I'm obviously trying to win all my games, but feeling a little tired. So I'm gonna try my best. My opening repertoire right now is pretty limited. I'm always gonna play like 4 e4 f4 black. I don't really know what I'm gonna play for black, but we'll see. I'm gonna go for I think ease number one. Trying to keep a non-stressful mentality. I realized yesterday when I was playing some over the board games that I was blundering when I was feeling really stressed. So I think I'm gonna go for more familiarity in moves and um, trying to take people out of their prep, because my prep fucking sucks. So I think confusion and trading off some pieces, not to blunt, so that I don't blunder, is gonna be my main goal. And going for 3 out of 3 for show. See you afterwards. What's up, everyone? I'm back at it again with another chess review game recap. Yesterday, I played at Berkeley Chess School in Berkeley, California. They had this cash quad game where people are split up into groups of 4, and you basically play everyone, and first place takes all the money. Yesterday I was split up into a group of 6, which was, I guess, a little bit different because I'm still unrated. I guess there's just more unrated players right now. So it was winner take all, and then second place got their money back. And I think it's possible for multiple second places because I think you can like have 2 wins and 1 draw, or like 2 wins and 1 loss, and multiple people can have that result. So I guess you would just split the money in that case. The time control was 30-15, so a little bit different from my last video. If you saw that in the Mechanics Institute, that one was 30 plus 5 second delay, so no increment. This one is 30 plus 15, so you get a substantially uh much more substantial amount of time if you know how to use it. If you like what I've been doing, by the way, subscribe, leave a comment if you like want to see what kind of chess content you want to see. I've been trying to like do puzzles and stuff too, and I did some recordings of that. It's kind of like, I don't know if I like doing it, but it's chess content, so I guess like I'm open to it if you like it. Um, so let's jump into the games. I had some really interesting games yesterday, so I'm pretty excited to share the results and the process of each one. So the first game is against another unrated player. I actually talked to him a little bit before the game. I usually do this to my opponents just to get a sense of like what kind of person they are and the personality type and like their experience over the board versus playing online. I think with COVID, a lot of people have been playing online, right? So I usually I want to get a scope of how they play chess, what their experience is, and then see if I can take advantage somehow. I know it's kind of like, it feels really psychotic in a way, but like, I guess like we're trying to win, right? So I just want to see what kind of advantage I can get just by like talking to them if they give me some sort of info. I feel like it's the same for poker, but anyways, I don't want to get into that too much. So first game, I'm playing white against Evan Taras. Taras, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's also unrated. This is his first over the board game, and yeah, I was just like, okay, first game. He's kind of like me. This is my second time, so let's fucking go. So let's see. First move, I play e4. This is what I usually play, and then he plays the Scandinavian. So it just so happened that the night before I was kind of like looking at YouTube videos on chess just to see like what might run into with one e4, and I actually ran into Levy's video of the Scandinavian, and I watched the video, so I know the main line is takes and queen takes, and usually attack the queen, and there's queen a4, a5, there's queen d7, and then there's queen, well, not queen d7, just queen d6, I think, and then queen all the way back to d8. These are the moves, and I know this is like theory. This is like mainline theory if you like keep developing and stuff, something like this, and then you Black eventually pushes can always push c6 so that the queen has this square to go back to. And basically what I'm trying to say is this is all theory. And I guess like you don't know me, but I'm shit at theory. Like I just like play a move and then I'm like, okay, I can like look at some tactics and I feel like I know some game sense. So I feel like more so less theory, what is it called? Like I'm not booked up at all, but I know that if I'm better than the other player at chess, then I can like eventually outplay them even if I'm like a little bit behind. So I play so I knowing this and knowing what the main line was, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna play into the main line because I'm sure if he's playing with black, he's playing Scandi with the black, then he probably has a lot more experience than me. So I play knight knight c3. I know this is not the best move, and I've played this before in Blitz too, so I kind of know the idea that like, oh, most people are gonna want to push because it's like, oh yes, I'm gonna attack with tempo, right? Um, so I know that's a blunder. It's not the best move, but I'm just like, whatever. I played this before, so I'm more going for comfort than the best move at this point. So he pushes. Again, I've played this before in Blitz. I retreat obviously because I'm being attacked. Um, yeah, he plays what is this? E5. Yeah, E5. I develop my knight to attack the pawn. He defends. So I played this move that I feel like it was a little bit offbeat, but I know that he can develop his bishop really quickly, and it's gonna be super annoying, right? And at this point, I'm not really in a rush to do anything. I know that I want to bring my knight out here and like bring my bishop out here and solidify my center, and then I think I'm gonna be good if I try to once I solidify the center and try to break out with c3. I think that I'm gonna have a lot of counterplay, even though I'm slight entrance says like black is a little bit better. But since I've played all this before and I know the motifs of what I'm trying to do, knight out, bishop out, uh, protect the center, that like it's easy for me to play. So pushing h3 was basically to stop this annoying ass move. So he develops there instead. Yeah, I guess I don't really know what the idea was, but I guess like I was thinking maybe he's trying to long castle, so I was just like, okay, that's fine, whatever. So I execute my idea, bringing the knight back as one of the ideas. At this point, he plays knight f6. Now, computer says this is a blunder because um, computer wants to play f6 instead to try to solidify the center and queenside castle. I think that's the main idea for black here, that the computer gives. But I think my opponent was actually thinking about kingside castling and just developing his pieces normally. So you'll see why this is kind of relevant later because this kind of leaves this e pawn, this black e pawn, a little loose. So he plays knight f6. I play bishop to c, what is this, b5. I'm still not good with the board squares yet, so I'm kind of stumbling there. So you'll have to be patient with me there. So I'm basically pinning the knight and I'm threatening to take here. That's my threat, right? So and also, yeah, I want to get this out and push the D pawn so that I have this nice chain. This is what I'm familiar with the what is it? The Grand Prix where you're if I go, eh, I guess I won't go into it. But that's like what I'm used to playing with the Grand Prix with f4, and then you create the chain, and you trade off your white squared bishop or light squared bishop. So he plays there, which is kind of a waste of a move because what I'm thinking about it is like, okay, you got this pawn is basically hanging at this point, right? And he played bishop here and bishop back. That's basically wasting a tempo. So I have an opportunity there to utilize that somehow. And even here, yeah, computer says white is back to being a little bit better. So, and I could feel it too because like, oh yeah, this is weak and I feel like I have play. So, I'm pretty happy that we got to this position and I'm feeling pretty comfortable right now. So he plays here. Yeah, I could snag right away, but I realized that because the knight's somewhat even if the knight moves and we trade, this piece is still gonna be this pawn is still gonna be hanging. So I don't really have to take immediately until he like forces me to move my bishop somehow, either attacking with a pawn or I don't know, doing something else. I don't see anything right here, but I guess pushing P on the A file. So I'm in no rush. I solidify my center, and I'm ready to castle, right? So here he pushes A6, which is a blunder. I think I capitalized on this pretty well because of all the motifs that I was mentioning before, of just like the knight being pinned, and it being the only defender of this pawn. So I snap the knight, he takes back, and I take this pawn. So free pawn. I'm pretty good here, and I'm ready to develop my bishop. My pawns are looking nice. He has a pretty loose pawn here that I can potentially attack like that. So I think I'm feeling pretty good here. And right now I'm even threatening the bishop, threatening to double his pawns, right? So I basically have the initiative here. Here he plays bishop d6, which is I don't think is the best move either because again I'm gonna snap gonna snap this bishop and like mess up his pawns. So like why allow it when I guess like in this position you could always move the bishop somewhere and not allow taking. Um yeah, I think like that would have been better. Um Computer says, what does the computer say? Queen d6. Where's queen d6? Oh yeah, so instead of moving the bishop there, move the queen there to threaten the knight. That makes sense. But instead he like chooses to develop the bishop. It's kind of a natural move as well because you're thinking about castling, right? I'm ready to castle and you're not ready to castle, so it's kind of like, okay, sacrifice like the pawn structure in order to get ready to castle. That is what I imagine Evan was thinking. So I take the bishop, obviously. There's no reason to not take. I think like the knight's kind of I could technically try to keep the knight on the board, but in this case like I don't have a light square bishop anymore. So I'm thinking like, okay, my pawns are all on light squares and the only way he can attack it is with the light square bishop. So I'm like, okay, get out of here. So I trade. And at this point I castle. Note that I noticed that this bishop can take and double up my pawns, but I didn't think it was a big deal because that would open up my f file for my rook, and actually and potentially there would be like a pin on the knight where my bishop would take, and because my rook is defending the f file like this, actually yeah, like so, um he can't take and he can't take with the queen and he'll have to take with the pawn. So I'll actually show you because that's what actually happens in the game. He ends up taking the knight, which again I thought was an inaccuracy, but computer also thinks so, which is good. I feel like I'm I'm on the it makes me feel good that like my ideas are like the right idea. You know, the puzzles are helping. So of course I take back with the pawn, doubling my pawns, but I don't care, cause now the F rook has scope. So now he castles, which allows me to execute the idea that I mentioned, the knight is pinned and you can't take back with the queen. So I'm gonna mess up your pawn structure in front of your king and hopefully get a good attack. So here he tries to get some counterplay. Evan attacks the b pawn, and obviously I don't care because you can take all these pawns. You can take all three of these pawns, and your king would still be weak. I could bring all my pieces to the king side, and while you're taking all the pawns, I can mate you. Like that's my idea. So he takes and I end up playing Queen H5, and here I had a lot of I thought for a long time. This is my first long think. Because I was thinking if I check here, he could just move, and then he would move his rook here and threaten taking my or attacking my queen. And I feel like I didn't know how to progress there. It's possible that like even if I play here, check here, um, I don't know. I try to stack my rooks to attack this weakness that he would go here and here and here. I didn't. I guess I could still progress, right? Like that, and this pawn is just overwhelmed. Um, Computer says it's good, but I guess I didn't see that. I was just trying to mate him. So I did not go for that. I instead went for Queen H4, Queen H5, thinking that okay, I can lift my rook and then go here and threaten this pawn. And it looks really hard to play for black. Excuse me. Oh, I have not been getting good sleep lately, and I feel like I might be starting to get sick. So bear with me if I start coughing and shit. But yeah, the idea is bring the rook to the H file and start attacking on the H file. So he takes the pawn. Like I said, I don't really care about this because you could take all three of these pawns, which would take 3 turns. And I think I would have a devastating attack at that point on the king's side. So I don't really mind it. So I sack the pawn. I'm like, what's up? I'm coming in trying to mate you. Right. So here I think he spots a good idea, which is, oh, computer says it's inaccurate, but I saw the idea. I think he definitely saw the idea that I'm trying to mate him on the square, so he wants to give his king an escape square that way. So I saw this, and I thought for a while here too, because I was thinking like, okay, I want to like lock him in with like Queen H6, and then go for the attack. But at the end, because I'm taking the pawn with my queen, this F8 square always frees up. And I couldn't think of a way to progress. Excuse me. So at this point, I think I doubled the rooks. Yeah, I doubled the rooks to try to infiltrate on the F file. And here he plays rook defending rook E6 defending the F pawn or the F6 pawn. And actually, I didn't really know how to progress attacking this pawn. I think I could have gone here actually, Queen H6 to attack it one more time because this rook is kind of out of commission. But I don't think I saw the idea during the game. I was just always my eyes were always on this H7 pawn and trying to infiltrate and attack here. So ultimately, I didn't see this idea of like stacking more pressure on the F6 pawn until later. So here I execute my plan, which is inaccurate. Looks like Queen G4 check was good. But it's okay. I think my attack was overwhelming at this point, so I was just like, like not a big deal. To play completely accurate, as long as I like keep attacking, I think that's something that will happen. So I just make a simple threat. He moves. I take. And then he moves again. I think here he was afraid of if I got a rook to infiltrate that like I would is it skewer the king and queen, so he would lose his queen to my rook. So I think here he was proactively trying to like get out of the way. Now Here I move back, which is also inaccurate. It says queen g4. I think like going for this pawn was is good. And did I see this in the game? I saw that this was a weakness, but I kept thinking that like I could only go through it through the F file and not the seventh rank. So um my main goal was just to take down this pawn and ultimately get through with my rook and my queen. So I would say I did not see it. Um, but it goes on. I'm still putting pressure on this, and the queen is no longer defending it. So I'm trying to put pressure here. So he plays c5. I think I didn't really see the point of this move because I thought it was way too slow. Um, but I saw the idea afterwards after he played after the next couple moves. So I'm trying to break through. I play a5 because he can't take with the pawn. He can't take with the rook because if rook takes, this pawn falls, and then the attack here is overwhelming. If he takes with the pawn, same idea. I could check here, and then things are bad things are happening. I could even take here, threatening the queen. I don't know, something like that. Like bad. This once this pawn falls, like it's gonna be pretty bad. So I knew that he couldn't take, so I pushed to put more pressure. So he moves his rook to the sixth rank, which is why I guess why he played c5. I don't know why he didn't reverse the order. Maybe to make his plan less obvious, but yeah, it makes sense now. I didn't actually think about more of a clearance push. That's what it is. And here I played queen to g7. I guess just putting more pressure onto that pawn. Here I actually had a long think and I didn't really know how to infiltrate because the only ideas I had were queen g7 and queen h4, which both attack the pawn, but I didn't really want the possibility of trading queens because my queen is technically pinned here, right? Even though it's defended. I don't know if something like this were to happen and somehow I did this, like the queens are looking at each other and they're gonna get traded. So it actually doesn't work because I could throw in a check. Actually, no, that still works because I could move back. But yeah, I did not want that pin and the opportunity to trade queens because I have a full blown attack. So I just did not want the queens having a chance to stare at each other. So looks like queen g7 was inaccurate. E takes f6 was the best move. Let me think about this. So it takes. Oh, you can't take back. Wait, yeah, you can't take back. Um. Oh, you have to skewer. Duh. Oh, it's exactly what I was trying to avoid. That like is ultimately the winning move. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I did not. I guess I didn't see that because I was always thinking about the f7 pawn and the f6 pawn and finding a way to take it rather than like tactics. Yeah, that's a improvement. What is it called? Like an improvement possibility. But anyways, at this point, he moves back. I think like to so that the queen can eye this pawn, and here I take. I actually thought in retrospect after playing this move that it was a bad move because if he doesn't take this pawn, I actually don't know how to progress here. I didn't think about the fact that now I can't attack this f7 pawn with my rooks and that my queen's kind of just stuck here. And yeah, I didn't think about like how I would progress, but after I played this move I was pretty unhappy with it. Engine says that it's pretty good. Oh, sorry, let me turn off the engine actually. But engine says it's pretty good. But yeah, I didn't see the continuation, which is why I kind of regretted playing the move after I played it. But after this, he just blunders. Oh, he just does. I mean, it was a good move. I guess after this, he blunders materialistically, so the win was more obvious. That's a better way of putting it. So here he just trades the rook, trades down his rooks, which is a materialistic blunder. because ultimately I'm just up a full rook with no compensation. Here he goes queen e1, and the obvious counterplay is just to check, right? So here I just play a very quiet. Oh, oh, I didn't log the move on the game, but here I just played king h2, and and he resigned. So because there's no checks, there's no counterplay, I'm just up a full piece. If you ever move the queen somewhere here, I just take, and you're getting slaughtered here. Yeah. So yeah, Evan resigns after I guess the trade down, and it was just too much pressure for him. So that was the first game. So I get a first win with white. That's a pretty good feeling. Um, One of the things that I told Evan actually, because it was his first over the board game, and something I noticed, excuse me, something that I noticed was that whenever he played his move, he wouldn't hit his clock immediately. He would play his move and then take his time writing it on his sheet. And then sometimes he would even forget to hit the clock. So a lot of my time was like spent on his time, which is obviously bad. But yeah, I told him after the game that like, oh yeah, when you always want to like make your move and hit your clock, and then you can write on your opponent's time. Like if you're using a score sheet, of course. Oh, I guess the obvious move is just to take and threaten mate here. I didn't. um, but yeah. Anyways, hopefully Evan, he continued to play some more games. I didn't know if he won a game, but I know he stalemate. He got into a stalemate his last game, and he was so sad. But yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, Evan, if you're watching this, good luck for the rest of your tournaments, man. It was good. We had a good game. All right, going to the second game. Um, Here I was black against Brandon Gardner, who's also unrated. Everyone that I'm playing is unrated, so it was a it was a brawl. Um, so this time I was playing black. Let's just jump into the game. He plays e4. I play the Sicilian. Yesterday, or the day before the match, I actually was not feeling great about the Sicilian because of some line of like what is it? Here, I'll play here. Excuse me. Um, I don't know, some move like this, and then they would play this f3 move and this chain, and try to castle queenside and basically push their pawns. And I played this a lot in Blitz, and I've never had like a successful game with it, or I never felt good about the game in such a way that I like had good results or like that kind of shit, right? So I always felt uncomfortable um going into the Sicilian and playing into this line, because ultimately if I choose to castle kingside, it's like who's gonna mate who, and I feel like most of the time I get mated. So I don't like it when I play into this line, or I get played into this line. Future opponents don't take notes. But yeah, I haven't figured out a way to approach this yet. And I was really worried about him going into the open Sicilian and getting me into that, and I'd be like, oh shit, like I gotta figure this shit out. But luckily, he did not do that. He instead went into I believe this is the Vienna game, where you're trying to play for f4, and that's exactly what he did. Now I play this a lot as white actually, so I know the. I feel like I'm kind of familiar with the themes here because yeah, I always push e4 and f4 and try to get kingside castle, and then like here, get your queen into here, and I know all the themes. I feel like so. Similar to the last game where I'm familiar with the opening and I want to outplay my opponent rather than try to like see who knows theory more. I want to get him into a more uncomfortable situation. So I played this offbeat move E5, being like, "Yo, what's up? Like, I know, uh, I just want to strike at you. Like, play this kind of like a king's gambit where I'm black, but I have C5 in." So he plays what is this, D6? Oh no, 3 D3. He plays D3, I think, just to solidify this chain. And I play D6. Now, this is a structure that I'm pretty familiar with in the Benoni. I think it's the Benoni, right? Where you have this V and then like white also has this V, but they have more space. I played this a lot before, and I watched some videos of Ben Feingold's, so I'm familiar with this pawn structure for black. So here I'm already like pretty comfortable of like, oh, okay, once I get this V, I'm even down to trade off this light square bishop. It's a long game, right? Like it's kind of like a positional game, but he has an early f4, so he can always trade. Because in the Benoni, I think like both players are trying to play for a pawn break on either side, either the c file or the e file with an adjacent pawn on the adjacent pawn on the adjacent file, or a pawn on the adjacent file. Yeah, but he got that early, so I didn't really care. I just cared about comfort at this point, and I knew this structure, so I was like, let's fucking go. Here he plays knight f3. Was it knight f3? Yeah, knight f3. Again, I'm pretty familiar with this structure because I play it a lot as white. So here I play bishop g4. Computer doesn't like it because knight g e7 was best. Knight g e7 here. Doesn't go here. Go after the pawn. Um, here I thought that with my knight coming in here, that the knight would be sitting pretty if I trade down the bishop. One of the things that I learned in my playing style is that I want to trade at least one set of minor pieces down, because, and this is just for myself, it's not a tip or anything, but I feel like I've blundered a lot when all pieces are on the board. I don't know, something about my vision is not like complete, and or it's just more confusing when there are more pieces, right? So I feel like I perform better when some pieces are traded down, and I find some tactics with the pieces remaining, because and the opponent doesn't see, because I don't know why they don't see it, but yeah. So I'm just trying to create more opportunities and more play for myself by trading down a piece. Even though computer says it's like not best here, whatever, right? Okay, he pushes, and I'm just like, okay, yum nom nom nom. Queen takes. I guess only move. Again, I'm thinking about like what is it called? Grand Prix, and like the Grand Prix ideas of like this knight being here and being pretty it gets pretty annoying, I feel, whenever the opponent can like jump around with the knight, and like they castle, and then this file gets open for the rook. Like the f file gets open. Like it gets pretty annoying once you get an attack here. So I just wanted to trade down, not let the opponent get that sense of harmony, and start annoying them. So here I play knight d4, attacking the queen, obviously. And he moves back. Now he moves back to f2. Now here I actually circled. Let me see. Did I circle this? Yeah, here in my chess book, I actually circled this move because I think I've never seen this move before. Most of the time, people move here to defend this c2 pawn because you're threatening this fork, right? Now, yeah, I've only ever seen queen back to d1, and this was a weird square for the queen, and I kept this in mind to see if I could exploit it in the future, which you will see in this game. So it continues, and I thought about a while at this point of what my plan was, um, and before playing knight f6, um, I think because this is one of the forks in the road where like, okay, do you develop your knight first or your bishop first, right? And then if you develop your bishop first, like, where's the bishop going? Like, oh, I saw this threat as well, and I was thinking like, okay, if like white does something, not that move, like this, I can always have this pin, and then something like this, and then I could fork, right? I saw something like this. I don't think it works. Yeah, it doesn't work. But I saw those ideas and I was like, I don't think that idea works, especially because like I saw that white was really close to queenside castling. So I was like, okay, I have to develop my pieces first, and I don't think like tactics like these like they don't come that easily. So I should just like develop, right? Like if I play here and he happens to play here, then like oh baby, it's over. But like why would he play there? Like it like at that point I'm just like hoping that he blunders rather than like trying to play a tactical move, right? So instead I'm just like play good chess and I develop. He takes here and I take back. And then he pins. Now, here I thought for a while, because obviously I'm afraid if I like do something like this, he takes, I take, and then this is a horrible structure for me. Um, and I would have to castle like queenside or something, and then this pawn is forward. I mean, this is kind of like black playing the king's gambit or something with the f4 push, and then like the I've seen the structure before on like playing on the white side. If you imagine like I'm white here, but yeah, that's not very pretty. And I was afraid that like if I play like bishop here, that which is what I ended up doing, that he would play knight here, which like is kind of annoying and forks. And then I would have to like he would take with his bishop, and then if I play something like this, he would take this bishop, and then like I would be pinned here, and then the tactic would still exist, right? Like this. But it just so happens that if I play bishop here, he doesn't have this move because of this tactic with knight takes d5. You would think that like, oh, this bishop's hanging, I can take, but now I take with the same knight that took the other knight, and I'm just up a piece here. So that tactic actually doesn't work, and I realized that it didn't work after like thinking for I think like 4 or 5 minutes on this move before actually playing this move. Because at first, yeah, I thought that this move was impossible. And I knew that I had to develop this bishop, knowing that he's ready to castle, and I had to be ready to castle as well. So I play bishop e7. He castles here. So this is a blunder that which I thought I could exploit. I looked at the engine and it looks like I blundered here, but I played this really tricky move, quote unquote tricky, which is actually, and it ended up being a blunder. Tricky move, knight takes e4, double question mark. And I thought that this worked because if he takes with the knight, I take with the bishop, he takes with knight, and I get a check. And here, I think I'm just up a pawn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 6, 7. Yeah, so I'm just up a pawn here, and I feel like with my like, I feel pretty comfortable with endgames, and feel pretty competent in my endgame prowess, I guess. So I knew that with a pawn up, I thought I was gonna win pretty comfortably. And here, computer says I'm um, oops. Computer says I'm if this were to happen, I'm plus or minus. It's -1, so +1 for black. Excuse me. Um, and why it's a blunder actually is like pawn takes, I believe, which I actually did not even analyze because now this opens the rook up to discover attack the queen. If I ever move my knight. So I did not even see that. I analyzed knight takes, which ends in the ending that I just showed you with me being a pawn up. And I analyzed bishop takes knight. And this is yeah, it looks like it's losing for white because yeah, I saw this in the game. Sorry, I'll just turn off the engine so that I could see. I saw this in the game, and you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm forking their rooks as well. If they move here, I just take one of the rooks, and yeah, I'm up the exchange. So those are the only moves I saw. I didn't actually see pawn takes, which is why it's a blunder. But anyways, he does not indulge in pawn takes, luckily. And here yeah, I play bishop takes. He doesn't take back with the knight, which Engine likes. I think it's because this knight's really good in this square. Um, and then he sidesteps. And here I knew that I also thought here for a while because let's see, this knight's touching this bishop, which was fine because the queen is touching the protecting the bishop. It's good. I saw this check here with the knight, but it doesn't do anything because the queen's guarding, so that's fine. And I saw that this pawn was hanging. Now, remember that I mentioned earlier that the queen is on f2 on this file, and I saw that if knight takes here, I could actually I'm okay with sacking that pawn because I have initiative with moving the rook over. And I'll show you and I saw like down the line on that. So I figured it's like actually okay for me. If anything, it's good if he takes that pawn. So here I'm kind of just like tempting him like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm just castle, like oops, my pawn." And then now he takes the pawn, which is the blunder. Computer says is a blunder. Now I already know. I already saw this idea of forking, or not forking. But like this threat on c2, if he comes up with the knight here. So, he takes the pawn. I'm like, oh baby, I'm coming in. And then he takes another pawn, and I'm just like, and I saw this too before I castled, which is like, okay, yeah, I attacked there and then he attacks my queen. But I saw that my queen can move here, which if my rook goes here, I'm actually threatening mate. So he has to like take with the queen or do something along this like, or move his rook here, which can't work because the bishop is there. So I think this is his attempt here to do something about this bishop staring here so the rook could come in. And so he plays what is this, h4. And here I play an in-between move, I guess, because I'm threatening mate, right? If I do this move, I play rook takes c2, which is I don't know, I'm proud of this move. It's kind of like puzzle rush, right? Like, oh no, my bishop, it's being threatened. I have to move it right away. Like, no, I have a more important threat of like mating you. So you have to, in this instance, you have to take. I don't think there's any other way. If you move here, it's mate. Like, how can you stop queen b2 mate, basically? And the only solution is to take. So he takes. I take back, and he takes the knight back. And at this point, we can count the material. It's queen, rook, bishop, and two rooks and two minor pieces. So basically, also one thing that I realized that I didn't mention here, or didn't mention yet, was that the knight is trapped. It can't go into any squares here, 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 here. Basically, I can save my bishop, and this knight is gonna fall eventually. That was my thought here, and I did this move, bishop f6. And one of the ideas that I had too was, if I ever move this pawn up, like I'm threatening mate. Like I had this idea in my back pocket, so I want my bishop here, even though it kind of looks like, oh no, why are you putting it here? Like it's not doing anything. Like no, I have this mate idea, and if you're gonna save like your pony, like it's not gonna work, or you'll see what I mean. So here he pushes the g pawn g4. I think his threat was here. So I just quietly play h6 to stop this idea, right? Um, Now he defends his knight, which I actually didn't think about this move. I thought he was just like pushing P to get this bishop out. But yeah, he was just trying to get some quick development and have some threats at the same time, which is a good move. Um, I was pretty upset actually when I played h6 because I actually did not see this check. I remember after I played h6, I kind of shook my head in frustration because I didn't even think about rook c8 check, which I definitely should have thought about because it's a freaking check, right? Like if I check and then yeah, there's no reason not to check or not or to at least like there's no reason to not think about the move. So I was kind of upset that I didn't even think about that check. Instead, like I had this like one line of thought that I'm gonna mate him here. So anyways, I play he plays bishop g2, fianchettoing the bishop or fianchettoing the bishop, protecting the knight, and I'm like, nah, son, I'm gonna cut you out, so I can take this knight. Like that was what my convincing idea was with like pushing the pawn. And here he blunders. He takes the pawn, and like I said before, like I had this idea in my back pocket, so I just made. Um, yeah. This was pretty fun game. I think when I saw that one tactic with knight takes e, was it e4? I thought that this was like I got him pretty good at this. Even though it's technically a blunder, but he took a lot of time thinking about this move and thinking about how to respond. And at that point, when I played the move, I knew that I threw him off his game because he was not considering this move at all. Um, so I feel like I felt very confident after this move, and I was happy that I found the move. But you know, computers just like shit on me and say like you fucking suck. But you know, I'm still happy that I threw him off his game and ultimately played a lot of tactics, um, and got some main ideas and kept my advantage. I think like another idea that was here was also just to, even though he's protecting his knight, I can just move my rook here. Um, yeah. You would just you can't. I guess like to avoid mate, you would just go here. I would just trade down, and here I'm up material, and I think I would easily win this endgame. So yeah, that was game number two. Pretty happy with that. So far I'm 2-0 and I have one more game to go. I'm feeling pretty confident compared to my first the first tournament that I played. I feel like I got the nerves down and everything, so I'm just looking to win the third game. And actually while I'm playing these games, I'm actually since there's a lot of time, it's 30 plus 15. Um I'm actually walking around to see how other people are playing, how other people in my quad are playing, and to kind of get a sense of what they're playing and like how they're playing. If they're missing any tactics, like stuff like that, their end game. And also because I made it my opponent or my opponent resigned in the first and second game, I actually had some time to like after the game to just observe and see like what's up, how they're playing and stuff like that. Wait, is there actually like a fork here? Oh no, because there's But yeah, anyways, I got kind of sidetracked. But for this third game, the person that I'm playing, he won his first two games, and I saw when I was watching him play, he actually like missed a few tactics here and there, and he didn't know how to end his he didn't know how to play the end game up like two past pawns. There was this game that he was playing against Evan, the guy that I played first, I think. Was it Evan? Yeah, I think it was Evan. So the position was in such a way that there were still two rooks on the board on for each side, but sh, I forgot how to pronounce his name. Shayad, the guy I played for the third game. Um, he had the two extra pass pawns, and he didn't know how to convert easily. Like it should be just looking at the board, and if it were like a puzzle on like Lichess or whatever, the obvious answer is to just push the pawns, and Evan couldn't bring his rooks to stop promotion in time. But it seemed like Shayad didn't see that idea, and he kept like checking with his rooks, and eventually, after I feel like 5-10 minutes of like continuously checking the Evan's king, like he eventually found the idea and he won. But it took a while. So I kind of took that to my advantage, knowing that like okay, he's not as strong. I feel like he like can blunder. There's opportunities for him to blunder. So I knew that there was opportunities for me to capitalize when I play against him. So this third game against Shayad, he's also unrated like everyone else. I played the white pieces. Let's get into it. I played e4 like I always do, and he played c6 going for the Carol Khan. Um, yeah, I don't know a lot of theory in the Carol Khan or Carl Khan, whatever. Um, but I do know that if you play e4, you also play f4. So I play f4. Okay, so e4 f4. Let's fucking go. He plays the Carol Khan structure for black, and I push. And I played this a few. I've played this a few times on Blitz, or not just a few times. I probably played this a lot of times on Blitz. I'm familiar with the structure. I eventually get the pawn here, and it's kind of like a French, but I mean, if black knows what he's doing, it's kind of like a French in the sense that like he can play like e6 and have this structure. We have this pawn structure here, and he can push for this like a French, like an advanced French. Um, but he didn't go into this. He didn't transpose. Instead, he did something else. Let's see. This is a pretty crazy game, so I think this is very instructive. But I'm excited to share it. So he plays there, I play there. He plays bishop f5. I didn't think too much of it. I knew that my bishop didn't have anywhere to go, so that's the only thought I had. Okay, I develop my piece, knight f3. He plays what is this? G6. And here I can already see like, okay, his bishop's kind of getting trapped here. Like, what's going on? Is he gonna trap his own bishop? Like, and it's obvious that he's got Fiend Kettle, right? So here I advance this pawn. I'm eventually gonna play it anyways. I have some ideas if I want to trade off this light squared bishop because I can't go anywhere here, right? So what is this light squared bishop gonna do? And here he plays e6, and yeah, the bishop's freaking trapped here, like trapped on the outside. And now I know there's an idea of playing here and then going for let's say he plays here and going for this, but I knew that he could just go here, right? Like, what does this do? It's just like he's just threatening to take, and then like nothing happens. So I didn't want to do that too prematurely. So here I play knight c3, which I looked at the engine before this. Engine likes. After I played this move is also to basically prevent here. If he does play that, I take, and then I double his pawns, which is I guess like bad for black. That was the idea. But here I didn't actually like this move because if I play here instead, I have flexibility of playing c4, which tries to strike at black's center. And when I play when I play knight c3, I kind of lose that option. So when I played this move and not knight d2, afterwards I was a little bit upset about it because yeah, I lost that flexibility. But I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna keep doing my idea, right? Like of kicking the what is it? Kicking the bishop and then like doubling his pawns. So he fiend kettles his bishop. Yeah, that was his motif, I guess. Like The bishop's not really doing anything though, so I'm not really worried about that piece. So I go with my plan. I'm gonna go for g4. Try to force this bishop trade. And here he plays bishop here early. I don't know what the best move is. Best move says h5. Um, oh yeah, yeah, preventing. Excuse me. H5 preventing the pawn push like this. If you just take, I can't take back because um the rook is hanging. Okay, so yeah, he did not play that. Instead, he goes right into goes right into my idea, which I was like, gimme, gimme. Now his pawns are doubled, and this is a weakness that I could just attack, and that's what I do. I'm just like, yeah, give me that pawn. It's free. If it's free, it's for me. And when I move this knight away, I have the idea of pushing c3. I have this nice chain. This bishop's not doing anything, even though it's fiend cadeaued. It looks like a nice bishop, but ultimately like, yeah, it's staring at a wall that is really hard to break down. So here he plays uh what is this, f5, and here he's kind of like, oh no, you won't. Like, I guess we were kind of talking before, and we were having some friendly banter about like yeah, just about like playing chess and shit like that. So he was like, you won't, and like, you won't take it. He was saying that kind of shit to me, and I think he was talking about taking en passant, which obviously I won't. I won't break the structure, but I don't think he saw that pushing f4, pushing f5 actually hung this pawn on e6. So I was like, you're right, I won't. Assuming that he's talking about taking en passant. So I snap off the pawn, right? It's a free pawn. Here he actually checks me, and I was a little bit upset of this about not actually seeing this check, because now I can't castle, and it's kind of annoying. I played king e2, but I realized in retrospect after playing king e2 that and he moved his queen back, attacking my knight. I realized in retrospect that, like, yeah, he actually doesn't have any moves, because usually this is annoying when you play the King's Gambit, when you get checked and then like your pawn on e4 falls to this check. It's like, oh, that's the worst, right? And I was like, when he checked me here, I was like, oh shit, did I miss something? Like, I definitely didn't see this check, so did I miss something here? But luckily everything's defended. He can't take here. He has like no more checks here. So after I move up here, he has nothing. If he comes in here, I guess he could come in. Yeah, even if he comes in, like, there's nothing. So it's just a waste. Or not, it's not a waste. He just like prevents me from checking. So he moves back to attack my knight, and here I thought for a little bit, and I think this is an instructive moment because I had the choice of taking this bishop. And I said in my in this analysis so far that this bishop kind of sucks, and it's staring at a wall of pawns, which makes it a pretty bad piece. So, and that's what I told myself in the game. Like, why would I trade this knight that I took so much time developing, one, two, three moves developing for, and like can potentially go to a good square, and trade it for a bishop that moved once and is like not doing anything, right? Like, I told myself that. So ultimately I said, like, no, I'm not gonna take a shitty bishop, even though, like, yeah, technically, or like people believe like bishops are better than knights, like holistically, but in this situation I was like, okay, it's not better. Oops. Uh-oh. I did not mean to spoil it. But I play knight back, which is a questionable blunder. Computer likes d5 more, and I saw this move during the game, but I didn't really see the continuation. And I was pretty scared, not gonna lie, because my king is out in the open. After being kind of rattled about getting checked and not seeing the check, and my king being in the center of the board, I didn't really want to open up the center with d4 takes. I knew my queen could take, but I didn't see any threats, and I was afraid of developing the knight develops and then the rook infiltrates like this. I admit in the game I actually did not see the knight protects this square, so you can't actually do that. But I didn't see that in the game. I just saw like the idea, the concepts of like, what am I gonna do here? Like, what is my next move? Um, and it looked a lot harder to play. So yeah, even though computer says it's better to push, like I ultimately didn't do that because I didn't want to open up the center too early. So I played here instead, which computer doesn't like. It says it's a blunder, but I'm still up 1.4 it says, and I think that my development and my center is really good. Um, or I'm underdeveloped. Sorry, it's like I haven't gone through puberty yet, but I'm underdeveloped and I'm not ready to open the center, and I can reposition my knight against their shitty bishop. They're also very underdeveloped, and I don't know what side they're castling on. So I think it's a little too early to do anything too big. So here pushes B what's this B6, which I really didn't like because now you definitely can't castle queenside, which I think was your only option. Castling kingside is way too. I mean, how are you gonna do it? This knight can't go here right now. The queen's there. Like it's gonna take a while for you to castle that side. Um, I was thinking if you're gonna castle anywhere, you're gonna go to queenside. So yeah, I didn't like this move at all. It's just like pushing the knight back, but like it's just like a what is it called? A one move threat. So I move my knight back, like not a big deal. He develops his knight. And then what do I do? Can I think? Let me think. Oh, I move my king to the side. Yeah. Here I'm just trying to develop my pieces, like get this bishop out, maybe move my rook out as well, and then like get my king to safety. That was my main idea. And here he plays bishop h6, and I know his idea. When he played this move, the bishop isn't doing anything here. He wants to do something, and I knew he had this check here. Like he was eyeing some tactic along the lines of like, um, let's see if I didn't do anything. Like let's say I played here. He was eyeing this tactic of like here, and queen takes with the fork, and this doesn't work because yeah, you could just push the pawn, right? Um, and I knew that it didn't work. So when he moved bishop here, I was just like, yeah, that doesn't work. And obviously I didn't say it out loud because I'm not gonna give it away. But what I did say out loud was like, I knew I wanted to strike at the center. I had a really big center, and I want to build on it. Um, Now it's debatable, I think, like as a beginner player, whether or not you should continue developing your pieces or break in the try to break in the center. It's debatable of whether or not my king is like still in the center, quote unquote. But I felt that because my king is to the side and there's no infiltration squares available other than here, that I can easily block, my king is actually relatively safe compared to his king, which is like straight up in the middle. So I felt that like even though my pieces are not developed, um, they don't have very good squares to go to. Like, and I'd rather like push up into the center and try to break the center and like push P like up the board like that, and that would like just like roll him. I felt like that would just roll him over. Um, so ultimately, I went with that. I was like, my bishops can't really go anywhere good. Where are they gonna go to like make some true impact, right? So I ultimately played c4, um, going for d5, and yeah, that was my idea. He plays that move, which, like I said, didn't work. I already saw it. I just pushed the g pawn, and he's forced to go back. So he basically just wasted tempo for nothing. Um, I continue my idea, breaking in the center. He takes, which I think was questionable. Um, I think at this point, what can you do though? If you don't take, I'm just gonna keep pushing. But I think when you take, it just makes it easier for me because there's less counterplay. You have less pawns, right? So I think it's just easier for me. So he takes, I take back, and now I have this huge reaching center. Like usually these pawns are like behind enemy, or in front of your pawns, but this time it's behind, and the chain is reaching. So here I'm like really happy with my position. I'm like, yo, like I'm about to steamroll you. Here he plays knight c5. I think his hope was to trade down pieces. Um, that's my only. Oh no! I remember. Um, my king is soft along this dark diagonal, and I think that like he sees that if he trades down, let's say I play a random move like this, he trades down, and I have to take back. That he has this check here. I think he was going for this. And then this pawn is soft, and yeah, but I guess this doesn't even work because of this. I didn't see this this far down, but I just knew that like, oh, he's just trying to trade down and attack me on the dark squares, which I didn't want. So I throw in a check. I don't think he saw the check because before I didn't have the check because his knight was there. So now I throw in the check. He moves his king. And I'm attacking, so I don't want to trade any pieces. I play my knight to d4 instead. Here I already saw the tactic with like bishop here. Let's say you do a random move. Here with this tactic of discovering attacking the queen like this. And Engine does like this move better than knight d was this d4. But I thought like it was too obvious of a move. Like if I were to play this move like knight c4, like why like Shayad would ask himself like why did I play that move? Oh yeah, this threat here like of d6, forking, right? Or discover attacking. And I thought it was super obvious, so I didn't want to play a super obvious move, even though like yeah, Engine says like I think if you continue this line like it's actually pretty good. Let's see. Um yeah, it uh I don't know. I don't really want to analyze this, but basically Engine says it's good. So instead, I continue attacking. I'm just improving my pieces. I don't want to trade down, so I'm gonna continue um, going for this. Excuse me. So here he plays knight queen b7, which is I thought it was an obvious blunder, and here I just like I skewered the pieces. I was just like, okay, yo, gimme. Um, Here he plays the check, which I thought was also a tactical blunder. Because I just take with the queen. Because the queen's attacked. Their queen's attacked. So if I, let's say if I take, and he takes, I think his queen is still attacked, and I could continue my attack one way or another, right? I don't know. I actually when I played this move, I actually did not see queen takes bishop. I just saw what he ended up playing, which was pawn takes, and then I'm just up a free piece here. And this is how the game went. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm just up a clean piece, and I'm attacking the rook. Um, so here, he plays knight to d8, attacking my pawn. I push it. Um, I'm gonna take a break here and or take a moment here and kind of analyze the position because as of right now, I feel like I'm actually underdeveloped. I haven't moved this bishop yet. I haven't moved this rook yet, and I haven't moved this rook yet either. And I've only been using a few pieces to play, and I feel like if I were to analyze this uh, as a instructive video as to like how people should play chess, this is not a very good video because like it doesn't show those kind of principles of developing your pieces and castling and stuff like that. It shows more of a mess. And I feel like it's not really a mess because like all uh I guess I'm trying to rebut that idea because all the moves that I made I feel like had a purpose. Either I'm trying to like exploit an opponent blunder, or like I'm going in for an attack that I feel like doesn't have a counterplay. Um, yeah, I think that that kind of justifies my ideas of like why these things, why went away from the general principles of like opening principles of chess and like went towards these lines. Because even though yeah, my pieces are underdeveloped, his are also underdeveloped, and if anything, his are trapped. Um, so yeah, I think that that's good justification for not playing like like standard chess. So here he plays rook d7, which is a blunder again. I think after a few blunders, he just starts after this like knight blunder here. Opponent started to fall apart like a little bit mentally, and just was playing moves like really quickly. So that's when I knew that like he wasn't on top of his game, and I like he would move in probably less than like 5 or 10 seconds, and I would like sit on the clock for around like a minute or two for a move because even though I'm winning here, like I wanted to close it out like with no chances of counterplay and like close it out beautifully. Um, so he was playing really quickly. He blunders here with the fork. Um, like the reason he plays here obviously is to attack the bishop, which is like one of his only moves. His knight, when I pushed d6, his knight is kind of permanently trapped. Oh, I guess not permanently. He can move the bishop and then move the knight, which I don't know why he didn't do. But I guess he's just going for like one move threats now. So I go for the fork. Here I saw the computer had a better move of just pitting the knight, which I didn't see in the game. I thought for a couple, I thought for around 30 seconds, and I didn't see the pin, but I was just like, I'm up so much material here, I might as well just take the free rook. So I kind of shatter my passed pawns, and trade it for the rook. And here was an interesting moment as well because I was thinking like, what counterplay does the opponent have? And the only counterplay was this passed pawn. Now I was thinking like bishop back to like attack the pawn, but like, why move this bishop when I haven't moved other pieces yet? And I was thinking like maybe I should develop the bishop first, in order to like connect the rooks, like those kind of ideas, connect the rooks and then like finish development, those kind of ideas. But I saw that because there's already a weakness that I could exploit, and there's like a discovered attack with the knight moving away after I take the pawn. I thought that this was ultimately a better move, practically speaking. Computer says you're stupid and you should do other things, but I'm not a computer. I just thought this idea was super practical. And I'm already winning, so just like trade down, and I'm definitely gonna win the end game. So yeah, I take the pawn. I have discover threats here and here, um, and he goes in for I think he's trying to like harass my pieces because they're not really harmonious in a way. And here, computer says there's main three, which I obviously didn't see. Here, my mindset is mainly like I'm up so much material that let's just develop my pieces and see see what happens. That's my idea. So here I play b3, or yeah, b3, not following the ideas of mate whatsoever, because I just want to prevent the king from coming in here. Because if, let's say, I play here and the king comes here, then these two pieces are kind of like, they're not playing well together, and my pieces are kind of like uh they're not harmonious. So I basically want to prevent the king from coming in. That's my main idea. Here he plays bishop, fiend kettling his bishop again, and here there's main one actually with bishop a3. That's mate. I obviously didn't see it because I'm not looking for mate. I'm just looking for ways to develop my pieces. If anything, I also didn't see this move, which is a fork of the bishop and the king, which I'm also upset that I didn't see. I saw it immediately after I played this move, bishop e3, threatening to discover attack, and yeah, just a lot of threats. Here, he plays king b4, which is I don't know where he's going, but here this is when I realized that okay, there's mate opportunities because he's basically cornering himself here in this like little box. And I was like, "Oh baby, like can I see this threat?" And it's mate in 3, and here I spent some time like calculating and cuz it's kind of like puzzle rush. And I did see the mate threat. Um Feel free to pause the video if you want to solve for yourself. But here I played a3. That's the first move. There's only 2 moves left. I think after he played b3, he realized that there is this fork. He saw what I saw because I'm pretty what is it called? Emotionally transparent with my moves during the game, especially when like I'm winning and I know that I could be playing better. So here he has 2 moves that are possible, right? Um, Maybe he's also scared of this discovery. I don't know. So there's only 2 available moves, and both I think both lead to mate. So he played here, and wait, did he play there? Yeah, he did play there. Oh, I missed mate in 1. What's the mate in 1? Knight there. No, that's not mate in 1. Oh, bishop d2. Oh, I did not see that. Yeah, okay, I definitely did not see that. But I saw another mate. So I pushed, and then there's only 1 move, and I checked, which leads to mate. Here he resigned, obviously, because it's mate. But yeah, that was a really good game. Um, I was really happy with the ideas that I found here, with the king moving up and the idea of king f2, moving out of the way to develop the bishop and develop my other pieces. In a lot of the blitz games that I play, I actually move. I actually do like king walks. Especially in one of the what is it? The King's Gambit where you play bishop c4 before knight f3, and then you there's a king check. I forgot what this variation is called, but the king safely walks here, and this is actually a line for the King's Gambit. And I tried to play this over the board too, but this is like you don't get to castle here, obviously, but you have early threats of like knight here. Let's say was it black's turn? I don't know. Let's say you develop here, knight here. Oh, playing some random moves. You have like this threat here, um, early threat, and then the queen is also kind of stuck in like this field here. But this is this line. You can like look at it on your own, but here you can't castle. And there's other lines that I played too, or there's been other opportunities where like I don't castle during the game, and I find opportunities to play with my king, like finding the right square to go to, and opponents always try to, especially in blitz games, like opponents always try to chase your king around and make your king safer rather than like developing their own pieces. So this is one of the themes that I played with here. Like, even though I didn't get to castle, I knew where my king was safe, and I knew that the king was actually pretty safe there, and opponent couldn't exploit. So I'm safe to open up the center. I was pretty happy about some of those ideas that I found here. Um, yeah, those are the games. So ultimately, I ended up winning all 3 games. I took $80. Let's fucking go. I'm a professional chess player now. Let's go. What is good? So I just finished the chess tournament. It was 3 games, 30 minutes plus 15-second increment, and it was pretty wild. I won all 3 games. Let's fucking go! And I was, I mean, given the last performance, I really wasn't expecting to win it all, but
I think I figured out the trick to it, which is for myself at least, which is it's kind of like taking the SATs where even though like theory and you're comfortable when you play online, like there's no pressure, right? So when you play over the board, there's the pressure sense, and it's like taking a test with the pressure and like the time restraints and really like calming myself down and getting a hold of that atmosphere really made me perform really well. The three games were pretty interesting. I think the first one was like kind of normal. Not really. I guess like when I say normal, it was like not really full of tactics. Um, it was a rook. I was basically up a rook with no comp after all the exchanges. So my opponent resigned. The second game, let me see if I remember. Um, Second game, I remember the last two I made it. So the second game, yeah, the second game I made it along. Oh yeah, it was a surprise bait. It was kind of a surprise, as you see in the game. I'll probably show it before this, but it caught. I'm pretty sure it caught him off guard, and it was full of tactics and pretty fucking crazy if you ask me. The third game was also pretty much full of tactics. I really liked the second and third game, like on an instructional level, because it's like there's a lot of like different aspects of the game that like I feel like I played really well. Um, Obviously at this point it's like still the same day as the tournament, so I haven't seen the engine evaluation. Engine probably says I played like shit, but I feel hella good. You know what I'm saying? I think I played really well, and I'm happy about the result. Got 3 out of 3, won that fucking 80 bucks. It's just fucking chump change, but whatever. It's like it just feels good to win though. So that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.
So what did I learn from these three games and this experience? I learned that playing chess over the board is kind of like test taking in the sense that you can learn chess theory a lot on your own, but it's the pressure of being rated and the event being rated and the time and being in person, of course, like that changes the state of the game for like players. I think like one of the things that I've tried to work to improve, and ultimately made me perform better this round rather than the last time I played, was really just the mentality of like not freaking out when I'm playing over the board and kind of capitalizing on people making mistakes and knowing that people are gonna make mistakes. I think that really like helped a lot with no with the play that I had. I think moving forward, yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more puzzles. I think the puzzles really helped with determining what plans to have at certain points of the game. It kind of shows when, like, in certain positions, like, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Certain positions, like here, like how to progress forward at this point. This point, I like told myself like, oh, my idea is kind of breaking in the center, right? So I went forth with the idea. The computer doesn't like it, but like it doesn't really matter objectively how good it is. It's or I guess it doesn't matter as long as you're not blundering too much. But like as long as you have a concrete idea and like things are protected, um it's better than like playing moves like whimsically and just like blundering that way, because ultimately someone playing with a plan is going to coordinate their pieces better than someone who's just coordinating their pieces because like some opening told them to, right? And I think like this game kind of shows that a little bit. I had the plan of uh yeah, I had a plan, and then I executed the plan. It wasn't the best plan, as the engine says, but it's good enough to win. Yeah, I'm excited to play more games like this. If you enjoy this kind of content, follow me. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on IG. I'm at GGB Lee. You can send me messages there if you want to ever hop on Lee Chess sometime and play a game. I'm open to playing. You can also follow me on Lee Chess. I'll follow back. Challenge me to a game. I'm down to play whenever. It's all casual, so I'm just playing for fun, man. Yeah, if you like more content, subscribe, comment, leave a comment. If you want to see more puzzles as well, like just let me know. I've been doing puzzles on my own, but I don't know if I should create more content for that. It's just, yeah, it takes work. So if you don't like it, like, what's the point, right? All right, I'll catch you next time. See ya.